إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعين ونستغفره. نعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، فإن كل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. وإنما توعدون لآت وما أنتم بمعجزين. Praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He's the only one worthy of praise. I seek His help, His guidance, and His forgiveness. I believe in Him and I trust Him. I seek refuge on Almighty Allah from the evil of our passions. Indeed, whomsoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides him to Al-Islam, no one can mislead him after Allah. And whomsoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put him astray, no one can guide him after Allah. I testify, O believers, that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah Rabbil Alameen. And I testify that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his messenger and the seal of all the prophets. Muslims, they must know that the best speech is the speech of Almighty Allah, which is the Quran. The best guidance is the course of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is his Sunnah. The worst of all affairs is innovation and addition to the religion of Al-Islam. Indeed, every addition to the religion of Al-Islam will lead to hellfire. I adjure you as well as myself to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the best of your ability. Fear Allah and don't die unless you are in a state of Al-Islam. After this, I greet you all with the greeting of Al-Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and the blessing of Almighty Allah be with you all. I'd like to welcome you all for our daily classes concerning marriage in Al-Islam. This class constitutes class number 22 under the title Marriage in Al-Islam. And today we may mention something about it, but with very briefly, but today inshallah we're going to go more in details with it. It relates somehow to the relationship between a husband and wife. We're talking specifically about Adabul Farash. Adabul Farash, the proper behavior in the bed between a husband and wife, privacy between the man and his wife, and how Islam had make some recommendation, give us advices about it, and inshallah we will talk about some of it. Number one, ملاعبة الزوجة ومداعبتها بما يثير داعية الجماع عندها, which is that a husband way of approaching to his wife shouldn't be rough and shouldn't be dry relationship, something that to fulfilling his sexual desire, and this it. And this is came, you understand, from hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, هلا بكرا تلاعبها وتلاعبه. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam talked to Jabir, did he get married? And he told him yes. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked him, is it a virgin or thayyib? And say the thayyib, that means been married before. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told him, why not a virgin? And he said that it will be more enjoyable in the way that you be able to play with her and she play with you. So we here, as a result of this, we're saying that a husband shouldn't be aiming to fulfilling his sexual desire or intercourse specifically by fulfilling it, and this it, but it should be some kind of a you may call it they call it, I think, foreplaying. Can be through talking, words, touching, kissing, things like this, or tickling, whatever it is that you will find it as a means to rouse her desire and also to be easy approach in her. We are not going to sit here and give you all the details because everyone have a different approach and everybody can use his mind. But basically, I want to emphasize the issue that we shouldn't be jumping into intercourse, but we should, you understand, prepare the wife before they getting into this relationship. One thing that I would like to mention it here, which I'm not a supporter of it, but only because when you read in some of the fiqh book, they saying from the adab that you don't look to her private parts, neither she's supposed to look to your private parts. And some of them they use hadith which is fabricated or weak, that it shouldn't be accepted, because basically she's your wife, she is lawful for you, you are her husband, you are lawful for her. There is no any harm to look or to touch or okay, the private parts. And some of the scholars they say that is making causing some kind of a hatred between or disliking the wife. Okay, but what about if somebody will enjoy looking, you understand, to the private? So people are different in their views and their taste, and as long as not injunction in Quran or clear cut in authentic hadith, we shouldn't pay attention to this. uh, Number three, that a person before he start having intercourse with his wife to remember one of the main adab and discipline. The Prophet ﷺ spoke about the dua, remembering uttering the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that a person to say Bismillah, Allahumma jannibna shaitan wa jannibi shaitana ma razaqtana. There is a hadith about it. لو أن أحدكم إذا أراد أن يأتي أهله قال اللهم جنبنا الشيطان وجنب الشيطان ما رزقتنا فإنه إن يقدر بينهما ولد في ذلك لم يضره الشيطان أبدا. When one of you about to have intercourse with his wife and he utters the dua, O Allah, keep the shaitan away from us and keep the shaitan away from what you provide us. If Allah decreed that a child to be conceived in this relation, the shaitan never be able to harm this child. So of course is that you have to say this in Arabic, okay? And if you could not, I'm not going to say to you say it in English. I'm going to tell you go spend some time to learn it. This is not Surah Yasin or Surah Kahf. Is a one line dua. Bismillah, Allahumma jannibna ash-shaytan wa jannib ash-shaytana ma razaqtana. Bismillah, Allahumma jannibna ash-shaytan wa jannib ash-shaytana ma razaqtana. Bismillah, Allahumma jannibna ash-shaytan وجنب الشيطان ما رزقتنا. Again, بسم الله اللهم جنبنا الشيطان وجنب الشيطان ما رزقتنا. بسم الله. اللهم جنبنا الشيطان وجنب الشيطان ما رزقتنا. بسم الله. اللهم جنبنا الشيطان وجنب الشيطان ما رزقتنا. Hopefully you already know it by this time, inshallah, maybe. Otherwise, you need to understand too. Keep saying it, inshallah, until you can memorize it. And in Hisn al-Muslim, you will find that this is written there and have a phonetics, which will make it much easier in you, inshallah, for you to memorize. Okay? Number 4, from the adab that relating to intercourse, and let's call it, you understand, the bedroom, but to be more specifically, we're going to say intercourse, all right? That a person not to have a relationship with his wife while she have her menses or after childbirth bleeding, and you know that this is haram. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had told us in Al-Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَاعْتَزِلُوا النِّسَاءَ فِي الْمَحِيضِ وَلَا تَقْرَبُوهُنَّ حَتَّى يَطْهُرْنَ, and keep a distance from women, i.e. intercourse, while they have their menses, and don't touch them, and that means having intercourse with them until they finish their period. Okay, number 5, that he doesn't approach her after menses unless she had her shower, okay, until she take a full bath, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said after this, فَإِن تَطَهَّرْنَ فَإِذَا تَطَهَّرْنَ فَأْتُوهُنَّ مِنْ حَيْثُ أَمَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ. So if they purify themselves, and you understand the person doesn't purify himself by stop bleeding, because this is something that Allah decreed and it happened by itself. When the blood stops, the woman doesn't stop the blood. So now the scholar understood from this that tataharna, that means they made the tahara, okay, not that stop bleeding, but in addition to this kind of tahara, now they purify themselves, so now you can have intercourse with them. Also from the adab of the intercourse, that to have intercourse with her in the place where is the child comes from, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَأْتُوا حَرْثَكُمْ أَنَّ شِئْتُمْ. So come to your tilt. And Allah made you understand this to be like a field, and you like a farmer, and you put the seed, which is bring about a child. So what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it for the person, doesn't matter from the front, from the back, upside down, to the side. The main thing that the person to have intercourse with her in the field, which Allah made it to be for plantation, that the child comes from it. Another point which is very important, and I hope that you, especially the brothers who are listening to me today, to pay attention, that he doesn't withdraw from his wife, okay, his organ, unless he made sure that she had satisfied herself. And this can be annoyment or disturbance for your wife if you do so. And we understand that disturbing a believer or annoying the believer is haram. What about your wife? She deserves more. And you have to put yourself in her place. Imagine you understand that if she already satisfied herself and you didn't finish and you did not satisfy yourself, you are not going to appreciate of her leaving the bed or moving away from you. So the same thing, you understand, you have to take this in consideration. All right, that women also have means and have wants and have desires. They are human beings, they have feeling. A person maybe, we could not, you understand, start to complaining about discomfortable and all these things, because you could not, you understand, have discomfortable every time. And like I said, she have a desire like you have a desire. What about if your wife tell you the same thing? Oh, I could not because it does comfortable for me. You understand? It is not going to work like this, because she even desperate more than you, because you can marry two and three and four, but she could not have another husband. So if everybody going to start complaining about discomfort and things like this, I don't think it's fair. Okay? But let's say that somebody, I could not teach this as a regular rule in the class, but if it's individual case, it may be. But still, there is a means and ways that you can ease, you understand, the situation on her. So it's not have to be for you to be inside her all the time, but you can use your mind and your imagination and see how you can help her. Number seven, that a person shouldn't uh, making azl or prevention for her to be pregnant without informing her or without at least discussing this issue with her, because maybe you don't need or you don't want children but she wanted children. So if for some reason you don't want your wife to be pregnant, that this matter need you understand to be some kind of a pre-agreement between you and her. Number eight, that if a person want to redo it again, to go again for second, okay, that he should utilize the advice of the Prophet ﷺ by making wudu, because this is will give you more energy and make you more active, that before you go for second intercourse that you will have a wudu. Also from the sunnah or from the adab, that if a person decide to go to sleep before taking the ghusl, that he should make wudu. Same thing apply if he want to eat. One last thing that I want to remind in our class for today, that mubashara of touching or enjoying yourself with your wife is not forbidden during menses or after a childbirth bleeding period. But what is the only thing is forbidden is having a intercourse with her. Other than this, it is lawful for you to entertain yourself with her in any other fashion that you may see it, touching her, kissing her, hugging her, sleeping with her, okay? But the issue here, it will be better that you also follow the sunnah, because the Prophet ﷺ had told us that you can do anything, okay, do everything except what? Intercourse. افعلوا كل شيء إلا النكاح. Alright? Now the issue here, the Prophet ﷺ used to do, ask his wife to wrap something like a towel around her waist between her navel and her knees, and after this the Prophet ﷺ will spend time with her and touching her. So basically, this is general things about Adabul Farash, or proper way of approaching your wife before, during, and after intercourse. If anything related to the subject of today, you may ask. If something related about Islam in general, you can do so. If something still related about marriage, you can wait, inshallah, until we finish our course. Thank you for being here tonight. Jazakumullah khairan. Any comments, any correction? I would like to hear it. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah khairan. Allah knows best. I welcome any comments. You may raise your hand if you have comments, question, correction. If you're talking about me after bleeding, yes, a full shower, and even recommendation of the Prophet ﷺ that a woman after her menses will take a piece of cotton with musk and she will put it in her private parts to help you understand, to remove the track or the smell or the any odor that had came as a result of the blood that used to be coming out of the private parts. Any other comments, questions? Okay. So I think tomorrow is Juma, is it? Yes. Yeah, tomorrow is Juma. You know how busy day, but inshallah I will do my best to make it tomorrow. Okay. We still have few seconds. If I don't see any hands, so that means everybody's okay with today, and that you will save your comments for later, inshallah, if you have nothing for today. No, it's not a must that you have to have ghusl immediately after sexual intercourse. Okay? A person even can sleep without having ghusl. Okay? But it's recommended that you make wudu. Okay? That you can go sleep, but you should at least make wudu. Yes. Alright, it seems that nobody else for today. Jazakumullah khairan. Appreciate the opportunity. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.